guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Florence. Today I'm going to talk about toxic people. We all know what a toxic person does to us, and we're very much focused on that. But what we don't think about though is how we might be toxic to somebody else. So this kind of reminds me of two celebrities. I'm not gonna name their names, but two celebrities that used to be friends, right? And they were friends from childhood, and then all of a sudden their friendship sort of drifted apart, and no one really knew why. The reason that they gave was that they grew apart. But over the years, like recently, we sort of found out that one of the celebrities does a lot of drugs, and this particular celebrity does drugs off and on, has been to rehab for drugs, and then the other celebrity has health issues. And you know, when you have health issues and you are trying to take care of yourself, normally you separate yourself from negative influences like a lot of drugs and living a hard life that might be dangerous to your health. So this other celebrity, celebrity B, turns out to have some health issues that he or she is trying to work through and treat, right? So it kind of makes sense that celebrity B with the health issues will separate herself from celebrity A, that is into drugs and hard partying and stuff like that. Nobody really saw it that way. Nobody really thought, well, perhaps this celebrity A is toxic and that is why celebrity B decided to separate from her. Nobody really saw it that way, but I think that was what happened. And yeah, this video is about toxic people, so I just wanted to put that example out there. So we think about people that are toxic to us, but we don't think about how we are being toxic to somebody else. So these are 10 signs that you are toxic to the people that care about you. That was a very long intro, so let's just jump right in. Clue number 1 is that they only see or hear from you when you need them. If you only call people joke about this, like, well, if I don't hear from her, it means she's fine. If there's something wrong, she would call me. Like, it's not cute. If you have a close relationship with someone, you have to keep in touch with them to find out how they are doing. You shouldn't only call them when you need their help. So if you only contact someone when you need their help, you are being toxic to them because you are not paying attention to their own needs. Number 2 is a very common thing. We all experience this. So if you make jokes about your friend and it's very funny to you, but they don't think it's funny, and they sometimes tell you, listen, I don't think that's funny, you need to stop joking about that, but you think it's funny and you're just laughing and you tell them, oh, come on, lighten up, or oh, come on, it's just a joke, don't be so uptight and stuff like that. You might possibly be a toxic person towards them, because when you joke about certain things that your friend is insecure about, to you it's no big deal, but to them it is, and it makes them even more insecure, and they don't feel comfortable or confident when they're around you, and that's toxic. That's not healthy. So that's number 2. Number 3 is that you engage in certain behaviors that they don't approve of for themselves or for other people. So if you have a friend that you think is uptight because they don't smoke cigarettes, or they don't smoke, or they don't drink, and you know, you feel as though it's no big deal because they've known you for a long time, they know you're a good person, so it doesn't matter that you do these things in their presence, that might be toxic to them. Because if they don't like these things in their own life, they probably don't want you doing it around them either. And if you don't pay attention to that, you disregard that, and you go ahead and engage in all these things that affect them, because when you smoke in someone's presence, you're jeopardizing their health. So when you do this in their presence, you're being toxic. You're not paying attention to the things that they approve of. In other words, you might be acting like that toxic person that you always think and talk about. Number 4 is, if you don't appreciate or congratulate them on their achievements, you might be underestimating their achievements, and they might consider this to be toxic. Because when someone goes through a hardship and they overcome it, or if they achieve something major, the first person that they tell is their friend, right? Or one of the first few people that they tell is their friend, and they expect for their friends to be happy with them. If your attitude is nonchalant, or you tell them, oh, I mean, considering the kinds of people that competed with you, I mean, it makes sense that you would win because you have more experience. You're underestimating their achievement. That is not right, and that is being toxic because you're making them feel less accomplished, and that's not healthy. Number 5 is you show no support for them when they need your help, but you demand support from them when you need their help. For obvious reasons, if you don't put as much effort into a relationship, you shouldn't demand the same kind of effort from your friend. So yeah, if you feel as though you want someone to support you on your ventures or whatever it is that you're working towards, you should also put in the same effort and support them in return. Because if you're demanding things and they're giving and giving and giving, and you're just taking and taking and taking, you are going to be toxic to them, because you'll be draining them of their energy and their will to even be around you. Number 6, you say negative things about them to other people, especially when they're not around. That is a major no-no. So in your mind, you might not be doing this to be vindictive. To you, it might be like a funny thing that happened, but if it's an embarrassing thing that you know that they will be embarrassed about, don't go telling other people. Because if you're telling other people, one, you're breaking your confidence with them, and you are also putting them in a position where other people will look at them in a negative light, and you don't want to do that. If you're doing that, you're a toxic person. I mean, friendships end because of stuff like this, so obviously that is not a good way to, conduct a friendship. Number 7 is you don't respect their political views, their opinions about things, their life philosophies, or just how they choose to live their life. If they do things that you don't get, it just doesn't make sense to you, and you feel like there's a better way that they can be living their life, that might be true. But when people choose to live their life a certain way, you need to respect that. Don't put down their own opinions and beliefs about things, because doing that, you're being toxic, because you're constantly being negative towards them, and you're bringing in negativity into the friendship. Number 8 is kind of related, which is you don't respect their race or their religion. So here's the thing. You may not disrespect them directly, but if you disrespect someone that is the same religion as them because of their religion, or you disrespect someone that's the same race as them because of their race, let's say you guys are different races, right? You and your friend, and you see someone else that is the same race or the same religion as your friend, and which you are not a part of, and you disrespect that aspect of that person, but you don't disrespect your actual friend, that can still be toxic, because it brings in negativity. It shows you in a negative light, and it lets a friend know that you really don't respect that particular aspect of them, and that is toxic. Number 9 is very important, and that is you have a close relationship with your friend until someone else comes along, and then you just sort of push them to the side and carry on with this new friendship or new relationship that you have. And then when something goes wrong over there, you come back and try to pick up whatever you had with your previous friend. That is very toxic, because it means that you do not respect your friend, you don't respect the friendship that you guys have, you don't respect their feelings, and you don't care about how you treat them. For instance, I know a lot of people that when they're in a romantic relationship, their platonic friendships sort of goes down the drain, because they begin to ignore their friends, their non-romantic relationship friends, and they're no longer there for that person, regardless of what that person might be experiencing a hard time, but you you just don't care because you're in a relationship now, you're in a romantic relationship. And this does not make sense to me. I don't understand why some girls do that, and some girls even brag about doing that, like, oh, once I'm in a dating relationship, I don't really talk to my friends. That is not a good thing, in my opinion. Not a good thing. Here's why. Your platonic friendships and your romantic relationships are two completely different things. You gain different things from these relationships. You don't gain the same thing. Not completely the same. They're not completely different, but they're not completely the same. So if they're two different things and you're benefiting different things from them, why would you substitute one for the other? It does not make sense. So it's very much possible to maintain those two types of relationships simultaneously. There's no need to dump one for the other. You certainly should not choose your platonic friendship over your romantic relationships or vice versa, because you need these people for different reasons, right? Your platonic friendships were there long before you started your romantic relationship, and they cater to a certain aspect of your life. So it's not a good idea to simply dump them when you're in a romantic relationship. And when you're in a romantic relationship and you're trying to build a life with this person, you have to take that relationship seriously. So you cannot put your platonic friendships before your romantic relationship. They can exist on about the same plane, just in different compartments of your heart. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Number 10, the final one, and a very important one, is that if you handle conflict in a toxic manner between you and your friend instead of trying to resolve it, then you are being toxic in that friendship. So when you're in a conflict with someone and you guys are arguing about something and you just can't come to an agreement about it, and it's kind of the argument is getting heated and it's something you feel passionate about and they feel passionate about it, or like, let's say it's a topic like abortion or politics or religion or whatever. When you're in conflict with this person, it is best to handle the conflict in a manner that is geared towards resolving the conflict. Don't approach the conflict from the standpoint of, oh, I have to win this argument no matter what. I'm not gonna give in. She wants me to agree with her, but I'm not gonna agree. We're gonna fight until the end because I will not budge. You don't have to approach the conflict that way, because then you're escalating it, you're being toxic, you're not handling it in a mature way, you're not handling it in a way that will resolve the conflict. Okay, you don't have to agree with your friend. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there are other ways of handling conflict with someone that is not you just clapping your hands in their face and screaming at the top of your lungs or refusing to even listen to whatever it is that they're trying to say. That's not the right way. That's a toxic way of having a conflict with anyone. So yeah, these are my 10 reasons or 10 ways that you can tell if you are the toxic person in your friendship. So if there's any of these things that you engage in, just give it a second thought and think about other ways that you can go about your friendship so that you are not considered toxic. We like to think of other people as toxic, but what about us? Maybe we're the toxic ones, right? So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.